عقيدة الجيش الوطني الشعبي سرير جيش التحرير، عقيدته الدفاعية، وعلى أن سلاحه موجه حصرا للدفاع عن الجزائر وحماية سيادتها الوطنية إلى جانب المساهمة في إحلال الأمن والسلم الدوليين.
We are always told about the most mediatized special forces in the world, but there exists an army that has carried out some of the most dangerous, the most complex, and the most silent missions of the 21st century, without ever seeking the spotlight. For more than 20 years, the Algerian special forces have operated where very few armies dare to engage, in trapped forests, narrow mountains, and above all in one of the most hostile deserts on the planet, where heat, isolation, and the enemy rule. They have faced heavily armed terrorist groups, mobile, experienced, and with nothing to lose. Some missions were decided in just a few hours. Others lasted days, sometimes weeks, without reinforcements, without media coverage, without the right to make a mistake. There were assaults against major strategic sites, air assault operations in totally hostile zones, long and exhausting manhunts in the desert, and secret interventions to stop attacks before they even began. These operations saved lives, protected vital infrastructure, and above all, prevented chaos from spreading across an entire country and far beyond. Today, you are going to discover the very high-risk missions actually carried out by the Algerian Special Forces. Discreet missions, extreme, and so effective that many of them have never been told in detail. Stay until the end. Some of these operations change the security balance of an entire region without the world knowing it. Operation 1. The Hunt of In Amenas, 2013.
It was stormed by al-Qaeda-linked fighters. 800 people were taken hostage, and it was 2 days before Algerian security forces stormed the site to secure it. 39 foreign workers died alongside a local security guard. On this first anniversary, our reporter Alexandra Reynard meets a French woman who survived and the son of a Frenchman slain in the attack.
The most dangerous siege of the 21st century, January 2013. The entire world holds its breath. The Tigentourine gas complex in Amenas is attacked by a heavily armed commando affiliated with Mokhtar Belmokhtar, one of the most dangerous terrorists in the Sahel. Nearly 800 workers of 20 different nationalities are trapped. The site is booby-trapped, the roads are mined, the terrorists demand the impossible, the withdrawal of the army and the release of prisoners. The Algerian government categorically refuses. The assault. At 5:40 a.m., a column of pickups appears out of nowhere, headlights off, armed silhouettes standing in the truck beds. This is not an improvised raid. It is a heavily equipped jihadist unit, trained in Libya after the fall of Gaddafi, carrying automatic weapons, RPGs, and explosive belts. They breach the barriers in less than 40 seconds. Chaos unfolds. Gunfire, workers rounded up, explosives placed around gas tanks. Within minutes, units from the GIS, Special Intervention Group, the Special Intervention Detachment, and paratrooper commandos converge from In Amenas, Hassi Messaoud, and even Algiers. At the nearby military base, an improvised crisis center forms around a simple rule. The complex must not explode. No air access for the enemy. No exit. Mi-24 helicopters burst onto the scene with a deafening roar, flying so low that the sand turns into a brown storm. From the air, machine gun bursts. Neutralization of enemy pickups. Interruption of escape attempts. On the ground, commandos advance with surgical synchronization. They breach the walls of a side building with shaped charges to create a rescue corridor. Smoke, noise, confusion, everything is calculated to disorient the attackers. In 43 minutes, the complex is retaken. The whole world is shocked by the speed and brutality of the operation, but it prevented a catastrophe of unprecedented scale. Hundreds of lives are saved, and a clear message is sent. No massive hostage-taking will ever succeed on Algerian soil. Operation 2, Timgad, 2004. The Ghost Hunt in the Aurès. In the rugged mountains of the Aurès, where peaks suffocate light and valleys swallow sound, Algeria carried out one of its most silent and formidable operations. Its name, Operation Timgad, a mission classified top secret for more than a decade. At the end of 2003, ANP scouts detect a network of encrypted communications coming from an area considered empty for months. Analysis reveals the unimaginable. A regional AQMI command had reformed in an inaccessible cave at more than 1,900 meters altitude. For weeks, reconnaissance drones, still experimental at the time, silently overfly the area. They discover a buried structure, a true terrorist sanctuary equipped with solar panels hidden under vegetated netting. The operation begins at 3:12 a.m. 3 Algerian elite units, the GIS, the Biskra paratroopers, and an anti-guerrilla team from the 17th RYM, advance without lights, without radios, communicating only through tactile signals and gestures. At 4:01 a.m., the assault begins. The entire mountain seems to explode. The terrorists, surprised in their sleep, attempt to flee through a secondary tunnel. But an ANP team is already waiting at the exit. In less than 12 minutes, one of AQMI's most strategic cores is neutralized. The army seizes computers, hard drives, radio transmissions still warm, and above all, a list of funding sources that will lead to major arrests across the Maghreb. Operation Timgad remains, even today, a model of absolute precision. Operation 3, Storm of the Aurès, 2006. The assault on the GSPC underground base. Imagine the Aurès Mountains in the depths of winter. Snow, cutting winds, ravines like stone scars. It is here that, in early 2006, the Algerian army launches one of its most audacious operations against the GSPC, the terrorist group that would soon pledge allegiance to Al-Qaeda. For 3 days, under catastrophic weather, Special Forces units, GIS, advance on foot, sometimes crawling through snow to avoid lookouts posted on the heights. On the night of January 14th, the assault begins. A Mi-24 helicopter lights up the mountain with flares. Assault teams climb an 80-meter vertical face. A sniper group neutralizes sentries. Then the unimaginable is revealed. The cave is actually an underground base, with several hand-dug rooms, bunk beds, weapon stockpiles, an explosives workshop, and even a radio room. Fighting lasts more than 12 hours in a dark labyrinth where every step can trigger an improvised mine. Special Forces advance slowly, meter by meter, cutting corridors with explosive charges to isolate enemy groups. At dawn, the operation ends. 24 terrorists neutralized, several captured alive, and above all, the destruction of a strategic installation the GSPC leaders believed invisible and indestructible. An officer later said, "That day we took back the mountain. It was ours." Operation 4, Nejma, Noire, and the hunt for Amari Saifi. February 2003. The Sahara is no longer a backdrop. It becomes a weapon. 32 European tourists disappear into the desert vastness. No front, no clear claim. Only silence, and time working against the hostages. The kidnappers believe they are untouchable. In the desert, you disappear, you dissolve, you escape everything. Fatal mistake. The response is immediate, but invisible. Satellites, reconnaissance aircraft, ground units. Tuareg guides able to read a trace where there is nothing but sand. The desert is grid-mapped, without noise, without announcement. For weeks, the kidnappers move their prisoners, narrow gorges of rocky plateaus, mineral zones without horizons. They flee, but every movement betrays them. Then comes the Black Night. Forces advance on foot, radio silence. The high ground is already occupied. exits cut. When confrontation erupts, it is brief, precise, controlled, first lookout neutralized, then a second. Encirclement complete. Panic sets in. A leader tries to flee. He runs into a unit already in position. End of the run. The kidnappers understand too late. The desert, their ally, has turned against them. The hostages are found alive, exhausted and dehydrated, but safe. Operation Nejma Noire is a success. But the story does not end there. Behind the kidnappings, one name keeps returning. A man, a shadow, Amari Saifi, former soldier, desert expert, the one who believed he could disappear forever. After the hostages are freed, he flees south, Sahara, then Sahel. But this time, he is no longer hunted by one country. He is hunted by an entire system. Intelligence, regional cooperation, constant pressure. Every contact becomes a risk. Every resupply, a mistake. Every day, a potential trap. In 2004, the vice closes. Isolated, weakened, caught by time. Amari Saifi is captured alive. No final battle, no heroic scene. That day, a message is etched into the sand. The desert protects no one anymore. Operation 5, The Hunt for al-Khilafa, 2014. The Shadow in the Mountains of Kabylie. Kabylie, northern Algeria, 2014. In the wooded, steep mountains, a new name circulates in whispers. al-Khilafa, the soldiers of the Caliphate. An armed group from the local jihadist movement, pledging allegiance to Daesh as the Islamic State expands in Iraq and Syria. The shock. In September 2014, the name erupts onto the international stage. French tourist Hervé Droukdel is kidnapped, then executed. The hunt. The response is immediate and total. The People's National Army launches a methodical hunt without publicity. The Kabylie Mountains are grid-mapped. Continuous forest sweeps, surveillance of ridges and natural corridors. Helicopters and drones above the terrain. Mountain commandos deployed along invisible routes.
Stripped of his status as Emir of the Sahel in 2012, when al-Qaeda leadership accused him of being too autonomous. And the next year, launched a new jihadist group in 2013, known variously as a Signed in Blood Battalion or the Masked Man Brigade. It was in this role that he masterminded 2 suicide attacks in Niger and the attack in Algeria the following year.
Every path, every mule track, every inhabited area is monitored. The group loses all strategic depth. Intelligence. In parallel, intelligence services work in the shadows. Intercepts, informants, movement cross-checks, communication analysis. The net tightens slowly. One name emerges as the group's center of gravity. Abdelmalek Ghouri, alias Khaled Abu Suleimane, is a veteran of terrorism. He rubbed shoulders with Droukdel and, according to some sources, he was once his advisor. Neutralization. In December 2014, near Boumerdès, east of Algiers, the vice closes. A targeted operation is launched. Details remain largely classified. What is known as an armed group is located, engaged, then encircled. The clash is brief, violent, with no escape. Among the bodies recovered is Abdelmalek Ghouri. The message. Officially, Algeria announces the neutralization of the Emir of al-Khilafa. The signal is unambiguous. No Daesh branch will establish itself permanently in Algeria's mountains. Operation 6, Horizon Blue.
It has since evolved and expanded across the Sahel region south of the Sahara Desert, recruiting members from Mauritania, Morocco, Niger, and Senegal. During the Mali crisis, its fighters dramatically increased their profile and colluded with other radical groups in Mali. In July 2010, AQIM killed a French hostage who had been kidnapped in northern Niger 3 months earlier. This was in revenge for the killing of 7 of its fighters in a failed rescue raid. In 2013, AQIM said France was a major target after Paris launched military operations against extremist groups in Mali.
Protection of the Libyan borders, 2019. In 2019, as Libya sinks into total chaos, Algeria faces one of the most serious security threats in its recent history. To the east, the Libyan border becomes a critical zone. Heavy weapons trafficking, moving armed groups, foreign fighters, and a real risk of terrorist infiltration. It is in this context that the Algerian army launches Operation Horizon Blue, a discreet but strategic mission aimed at locking down one of North Africa's most unstable borders. Unlike a classic operation, the objective is not direct confrontation, but anticipation. Special forces are deployed in extreme desert zones where temperatures regularly exceed 45 degrees Celsius, distances are immense, and resupply points are scarce. For months, elite units operate in total silence. They observe, identify, track suspicious movements, and neutralize threats before they reach national territory. The danger is constant: mobile armed groups, heavily loaded convoys, open terrain where the slightest mistake can be fatal. There is no media coverage here, no second chance. Thanks to a system combining intelligence, ground surveillance, and air control, multiple infiltration attempts are stopped, weapon stockpiles intercepted, and cross-border networks dismantled. The result is clear: while the region destabilizes, Algeria's border remains under control, preventing Libyan chaos from spreading westward. Operation Horizon Blue never makes international headlines, yet it perfectly illustrates Algerian doctrine: act early, strike discreetly, and protect the country without ever seeking the spotlight. A silent mission, high risk, but decisive. Operation 7, Hunt for Mokhtar Belmokhtar, 2013 to 2015.
Abdelmalek Droukdel was al-Qaeda's North Africa chief, and France is saying its military forces have killed the key Islamist fighter after a 7-year search during an operation in Mali. French Armed Forces Minister Florence Parly took to Twitter to announce the news on Friday. Droukdel was among North Africa's most experienced militants, and he was believed to be hiding in the mountains of northern Algeria. Al-Qaeda North Africa was the dominant jihadist force in the region, staging several high-profile deadly attacks until 2013, when it fractured as many militants flocked to the more extremist Islamic State, as it seized territory in Iraq, Syria, and Libya. It remained active in North Africa's largely desert and often scarcely governed Sahel region. Critics in the region have increasingly scorned Paris for failing to restore stability. Anti-French sentiment has grown as militants have strengthened their foothold, making large swathes of the territory ungovernable and stoking ethnic violence. Parly said earlier this week that about 100 special forces from other European countries would be deployed to the region to support French and regional troops.
Between 2013 and 2015, Algeria and its regional partners conduct one of the most complex counter-terrorism hunts in the Sahel. The pursuit of Mokhtar Belmokhtar, emblematic jihadist leader, elusive strategist, and central figure of Saharo-Sahelian terrorism. The breaking point: in Amenas. In January 2013, Belmokhtar orchestrates the attack on the In Amenas gas site, Timgad. The operation, extremely violent, aims to strike Algeria at the heart of its energy economy and project regional power. After the assault and neutralization of the attackers, one certainty emerges: Belmokhtar was not on site, but he was the mastermind. From that moment, he becomes an absolute priority target, an extraordinary enemy. Belmokhtar is not like other leaders. Afghanistan veteran, master of the desert, vast cross-border network, expert in deception and disinformation. He constantly changes routes, Katabus refuge zones, southern Algeria, northern Mali, southern Libya. His signature: strike, then disappear, the hunt. From 2013 to 2015, the pursuit is permanent, silent, and multifaceted. Algerian forces, supported by increased regional cooperation, conduct aerial desert surveillance, communication intercepts, infiltration of logistical networks, targeted strikes on his lieutenants. Operation 8, neutralization of Abdelmalek Droukdel, 2020.
Non loin justement de la frontière algérienne, il y a quelques jours, Abdelmalek Droukdel, le chef de la branche maghrébine d'Al-Qaïda, a été tué, neutralisé, comme on dit dans le jargon militaire, par la France, à l'aide de renseignements militaires américains. Est-ce que ça change la donne dans la lutte contre les groupes djihadistes au Mali notamment et au Sahel?
Alors c'est une victoire tactique, voire opérative indéniable. Maintenant, il faut voir que la composition de ces groupes djihadistes a beaucoup changé depuis 2012 et que AQMI, qui fait partie de la fameuse coalition du GSIM, du groupe de soutien à l'islam et aux musulmans, avait aujourd'hui moins d'influence, par exemple, que le groupe en Sardine de Yad al-Ghali ou que la Katiba du Massina d'Amadou Koufa. Donc ça changera pas nécessairement beaucoup les dynamiques sur le terrain, à mon avis.
Merci beaucoup Niagale Bagayoko d'avoir répondu à nos questions. Merci pour cet éclairage.
The end of a historic leader. For more than 15 years, Abdelmalek Droukdel, alias Abu Musab Abdelwadoud, embodied Algerian jihadist terrorism. In June 2020, in northern Mali, a coordinated operation is launched based on consolidated intelligence. The intervention is fast, targeted, without staging. Abdelmalek Droukdel is neutralized, ending years of evasion and clandestinity. A symbolic end. Droukdel's death marks far more than the elimination of a leader. It closes the era of historical figures from the Algerian Civil War. It durably weakens AQMY's command chain. It confirms the shift toward more fragmented, opportunistic, less structured jihadism. It is not the end of terrorism in the Sahel, but it is the end of a model. Centralized organizations led by ideological leaders capable of surviving decades. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe so you don't miss anything. If you want more operations like this, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, it helps a lot. Thank you for watching. See you very soon.